Nothing I never thought I'd pastor. But like I said, being dealt with cancer, like I did, God spoke to me. And Reverend Bigger, he knew it. And we said and we talked. And I knew it was time for me to stop running and do my will. And I thank God I've been doing it for 4 years, and it's been a joyful ride. It's been days and suffering, but like I said, it's part of it. It's part of life. But when you suffer for a while, and God sees that you trust Him, He pulled me out of everything that I ever dealt with in life, and I thank Him to the highest. And Brother Ray and Brother Ricky, Pastor Bigby, he thanks a lot of y'all. And whatever he's talking to y'all about, I don't know. But whatever he's put on y'all mind to do, think about it. Because he approached me the same way. Just think about it. And just think about Him. And like I said, this run, just don't let it be in vain. Every Sunday that we here, do the best we can and make it all about God. Because like I said, 32 years of service, He provided none but love and care for all of us. So let's give it back to Him the same way. By staying the same and showing love and keeping His church going. Because that's all it takes. That's what He does. Just show love and stay real. So before we get into this morning's message, I'd like to just say one thing to Sister Claire. My wife told me yesterday about your illness. And I prayed yesterday and everything. I didn't get to catch you before we left yesterday, but I want to know to keep you in prayer. Because Pastor would do the same, Keep you in prayer. I'm glad you're okay now, or whatever the illness was. I'm just glad you're back in the house of the Lord and the Lord. God takes care of everything. Like I said, God with you. I thank the world love you, the whole family. And I just thank God that you're okay. And I appreciate you telling my wife. And that's how we do, look out for each other. I know coming in yesterday, Mother Sister Bunny, she told me she had been ill. I think she fell ill Thursday after leaving my aunt's salon. And since she fell ill, thank God I was able to talk to her yesterday outside, coming inside the church. So I just want to thank God for all the sick and the shut in. I just pray for them and hope that everything goes well like those two ladies on yesterday. And seeing, them here this morning, that's a blessing on something. So I like to just thank God. Before we get into the message this morning, I'd like to help yourself a song, Brother Gary. you like Jesus. Nobody. The devil, he can do you a way, but it's a way that you don't want it. You might think you're doing it for a while, but when he gets through with you and turns you loose, you'll be calling and crying for God. So that's why it pays for anyone to not have God in their life, especially at this time. It's 2021. They need to try to seek him. Just like Isaiah 55 and 6 says, seek ye the Lord while he's near and call upon him while he may be found. Because like I said, we're living in a ticking time. And I read and study every week, and I go to things, God takes me to things that lets me know. He wanted me to be a kind of messenger, and it's just what I have to do. A lot of times, like Pastor says, a lot of things that we preach about and we talk about, we don't want to hear it, but we're living in those days and we're living in those times. And we just have to stay prepared. And this the best way that we can do it is to serve God on Sundays. And like I said before, the pandemic hit Wednesday nights, but we need to have God in our lives each and every day. He's got to be our daily bread, not our weekly bread, monthly bread, yearly bread. He's got to be our daily bread. It's dangerous out there. Look at it. Look at Haiti. What's going on over in Haiti? Look at what is it, Surfside, Florida? They still finding bodies. Who would ever thought, you lay down, take a rest. Some people might have been on vacation that night. And not to wake up again, alive, not to see your loved ones again. We're in those times. Anybody, it could have been somebody from here in that condo. It's vacation time. So that's a blessing alone. God, he kept all of us. Because I think it was a guy from Tennessee that recovered him 3 or 4 days ago. He lived just in the upper road in Nashville. So it could have been some of us here. Let us know right there, God is good. Just right there alone. Anytime we get down on ourselves and feel like, we had it bad, cut the television on or go outside. Talk to a neighbor and you will see that you are blessed. I seen this situation last week. A young man lives beside us. And, he come to me last week. He's talking about they was going to have a yard sale because they were struggling. And I told him, to even just admit it. Being that young and, being a Caucasian guy, a white guy, telling a black guy this, in this day and time, I told him half his battle was over right there, at least admitting that you're struggling and need help. And I told him, God will bless you right there. And then about 2 or 3 hours later, he come to me and said that they had a good, blessed day in that yard sale. I said, that's how God works. He knows you're struggling and you're still not trying to do things underhanded, cheat and beat. God will take care of it. But when you do that, try to cheat, beat, steal, rob, and kill, to try to make it and to get ahead, God will break you down every time. So just for a minute, this one I'd like to turn our Bibles to Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30. Starting at verse number 1. Isaiah 30. Starting at verse 1. All eyes have say amen. All right, Isaiah 30. Starting at verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. They take counsel, but not of me, and they cover what they cover, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hamas. In verse 5, they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help, nor profit, but ashamed, and also a reproach. You may take your seats. what I like to use for a subject on this morning's lesson is trust in the good Lord and not in Egypt. Trust only in the good Lord and not in Egypt. And in this passage, the prophet Isaiah, he warns the Israelites and all the people that was God's people at this time. He warned them to have about the tendency to trust in something less than the relationship with God. And all through this, you know, God, he had warned these people just several times. But all they had done with God, they mocked and they decided to. God wasn't good enough. So they went on trying to make it without God. God, like I said, God warns all of us several times. And in this passage, he sends prophets every time. And in this passage, he sent prophet Isaiah to be a warning. It says, money, human strength, or even religious traditions are sought after for our ultimate well-being. But God cautioned his people against this when the invasion from Assyria threatened. And they sought Pharaoh's help instead of turning from their sins and turning personally to God. Israel hoped in the protection from an alliance with Egypt, but that hope would be turned to shame. And the reason that hope was turned to shame because, like I said, they had chosen to follow Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a human. He bleeds and he gets tired just like we do. But they chose to follow Pharaoh. And that's why they went through all this mass destruction that they did in this lesson. Because the only thing we can do, God, he can do anything, all the impossible things. It was just like with me in my life, in all my life struggles. It wasn't a thing a man could do for me, but get me deeper and deeper in everything that I ever got in that caused me trouble in my life. I never seen one man besides Pastor Digby that could help me do anything. And the only reason why he could help me, he was my pastor and he was a prophet sent by God, and that was his job. And he done it every day. He done it weekly. He done it twice a week. Sometimes every day if you call him. And that's the only man that we should always depend on for our lives. And that's a real true pastor. But like I said, other than that, it's not a thing a man or woman can do for you. But, you know, watch you fail, because what can they do for themselves? All of us are in need of God. It's in the Bible. All of us fall short. That's right. Every time. All of us. Right. So how could Pharaoh help this country right here? But that's what they thought. Because like I said, they was looking at the riches. They was looking at profit gain. But like I said, if you do that, you will take a shortcut from God. But God will warn you each and every time. And he'll be sitting on the other end waiting, hoping that you will turn from your wickedness like they did in this passage. But they never did. And they just kept on and on. They loaded horses. They loaded up camels. They put like gold, silver on camels, wearing animals down, trying to get all the way from here to there to make a profit and just think of themselves. But God told them, nothing that you do is going to profit because you're doing it without me. And that's how we are in life. If we do anything without God, without God's permission, anything that's, proven to be worthy, it's not going to be a good end in it. It's got to be made with God and God only. It's nothing, like I said, Pastor, that's why he told us that. Don't listen to the outside influence. Keep everything in house. That's right. What can somebody from another church tell us is going on in here right now? They can't. That's right. Because like I said, first of all, they ought to be in church themselves. So how can somebody else tell us what we need to do here? We already been led by God fearing and God loving man. So he set the foundation. So everything we need to do, look up above. That's all we need to talk to. Talk to God from here on out. None else will help. And it's just the way it is. Israel hoped in the protection from his lions, but like he said, that hope will be turned to shame. And like I said, verse 1, it says, woe to rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and to cover what they cover, but not of my spirit, that they may aid sin to sin. God expresses the sin of those, he exposes it, the sin of those who put their trust in Egypt. In looking to Egypt, Judah forsook the Lord. It was wise and good for Judah to understand that they needed help and were willing to look outside themselves, but it was foolish and evil of Judah to look to others, especially to Egypt, for help instead of looking to the Lord. And see, that's one thing they had good. You know, they saw and they needed. It's just like us. We see that we need help. That's good. That's good to have. You know, it's a lot of times, it's a lot of burdens we take on ourselves. You know, that we do need help from another man. That's good. But in this situation right here, as the Bible tells, you know, this problem that they was needing, only God could get them out of it. But they turned, like I said, to man. And this is what led to all their disasters. All right here. And this is what led to it all. And God kept telling them all along, trust me, and everything will be okay. But they mocked God. Well, I think some even cursed him, laughed at him. And they just took on the whole city. And like I said, when we do that, as loving as God is, after he sees the we will not rebel, we stiff-necked, and when he sees that, he'll just turn and let us loose. But in the end, if we come to our senses and see that we need him, he'll be standing right there, and he'll protect us, and he'll erase every scar that the world has put on us. Any kind of, you take counsel, but is it of the Lord? You devise plans, but are they of God's Spirit? It is one sin to reject God, and another sin altogether to trust in something else. Therefore, to do what Judah did in this situation is to add sin to sin. And that's what it means, verse 1. Because like I said, they never did come to God. God gave them chances right there. But look who they looked to. They still looked to Egypt. Verse 2. They walked to go down into Egypt, and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. This prophecy was given at a time when the Syrian army was attacking Israel and Judah. The northern kingdom of Israel would soon be conquered by Assyria, and the people of Israel would be taken into exile. The Assyrians then would come against the southern kingdom of Judah, and because of the threat, the leaders of Judah looked to Egypt for protection against the Assyrian invasion. And verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. From the perspective of heaven, the strength of Pharaoh was nothing, as the Lord saw it. And that's what God will do. We're nothing to him. He loves us, but when God becomes our enemy is when we become his enemy and think that we are above him, and we put him below us, and we get up top. We become God's enemy. Because like I said, we can't get above God, but that's what's going on in this world today. You know, we got all these crooked politicians. They think they're above God. You look at the situation the White House was in. All of them was, you know, Trump thought he was above God. Thought he was God, but look what happened. Look what's still going on with him. He's still facing legal troubles and everything. So God's letting him know that he's human. His money means nothing to him. Nothing. It's just like, he really blasphemed God when he stood in front of the place at time, in front of his church, holding the Bible. I bet to my name he couldn't find Genesis in the book, but he had it in his hand holding it. You know, there's just no way to live. You know, we have to be true and be real. God is not a game. And you know, the thing that he is, he'll punish you. And he'll punish you, and he'll leave it on till you come to your senses. And it's just the way it is. Well, he's a loving, caring God. But when he sees that you headed for destruction and nothing can turn you back from it, that's the only way that he can deal with us, is just let us fall and let us know that, you know, he's number one. That's what he's done right here in this passage. He just let them fall, and he told them, your end will be destruction. And verse 4, for his princesses were at Zoan, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. And see, that's what they set up. They set up caravans. Caravans are seen carrying tribute from Judah to Egypt through dangerous areas. And see, that was unnecessary. They was taking kids and everything through dangerous terrain, you know, trying to do things without God. Dangerous areas in the jail, the south. But though the Jewish numbers get as far as Zoan and Hanes, the whole project is doomed to failure. And the reason why it's doomed, like I said, once again, trying to do it without God. In verse 5, they were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be. They had religion, but it was like this local church here. They had religion in it, but it was like that 28 religion. They only wanted so much of it. And when you only want so much of it, that means you don't want any kind of God, any kind of obeying God in your life. When you just want to go just so far with God, that means you don't trust Him. And He knows it. God knows us from inside out. And when we show, like they was doing in this passage, to look to other resources, it hurts God. Because God looks at us and He knows our well-being. And like I said, He looked to other things, other people, other things. Alcohol, things like that. Look to, all these liquor stores are up. Anything up. They're taking all the bookstores. Anywhere to make a profit, selling Bibles. You see that, they're taking those out, shutting those down. But things is evil of the world, they're building them up. But they're taking away everything that's got to do with the Bible, religion, they're trying to close it down. And really, to be honest, about a month we take it. They're doing it at a young age. And they say it. To stand up for God now is that, but like I said, I will never have any kind of fear, because I know when I lay down at night or whenever it is, if I live today, go through the day and do what I need to do, not try to cheat, beat, steal from anybody, do the best I can to help somebody, no matter how bad I might need help myself sometime, I can have me a good night's rest because I know I've done the best I could in that day. And that's what times we are in this day. We're in this day and time. We have to be careful each and every day. How when you go outside, you might be shot down. Kids are getting snatched. Up in Louisville, they snatched a child off a tricycle. But thank God, it was a bystander that saw everything that happened with that little girl, little 6-year-old girl. And he chased the guy just so far, and then he got a hold to the Louisville police. But they found their vehicle, they found the guy, and that little girl safe. Yeah. But like I said, it's just an evil time. Every day it's a child abduction. Just take an innocent child, just sweep them up out off the streets. Just jumping on people for their race, age. Asian people, they getting attacked. We're just living in those times. And like I said, so what else do we have to really follow and go back on? It's God. God and His Word and trying to obey Him. That's the only thing we have left. Nothing else going to help us in this world. Like I said, everything else is evil, but that's why the world is today. Because we're turning away from God. But like I said, I don't care how dangerous it's going to get. I'm going to stand. Yeah. Always stand with God, because He's been my rock. When I didn't even know He was. When I didn't even know He was. But He had me and He kept me. And that's the reason why. So it's my time today. It's all about time. We see where we could have been, where we was, and where we was today. Give our lives to God. That's all pastors never tried to teach and show us. And that's the way He lived. That's the way they live their lives. Look how loving and caring they are. They had a family of their own, but look what they've done for 32 years. And He tell you, neglect them. He didn't neglect them, but He done the duty of God. That's not, really neglected. He done God's will. That's right. Besides still having His own family. And they still love Him, but you look what they still miss. But He sacrificed. And that's what we still have to do today. All of us, we have to sacrifice something every day. Either we're going to run for evil, or we're going to run to the good. And I would choose the good, because I know we see what good it is for us. No matter what, it's like, yeah. God said to us, no matter what. If you try to cheat, beat, lie, and steal every day, destruction will be waiting on you. Because that's what the devil loves, and that's why he's still around today. And like I said, to uphold and do the best you can in life. That's all we can do in this day and time. It's 2021. Okay. And you look at what's happening. And it's really lined up. And if you can, read 1 Timothy sometimes. Everything that's going on, wars and all that, it's right there and it's lined up. That's the scary part. It's lined up.
Okay, but we're not getting video.
Verse after verse. For some people, it was a lady in Texas. I think it happened back in March. This was her stupidity. This was like, she done just like these people right here in this passage. She cussed and she mocked God.
Now, I
burn the Bible.
I got my phone on too.
But in a few seconds, a few minutes, trying to burn the Bible, cussing God. You know what happened to her in a few minutes? Okay. She set her house on, in burning that Bible, set her house on fire and burned down her, not only her house, but her neighbor's house.
I'll do it.
Trying to be smart and mock God. And that's what he'll do to you. Burn the Bible. That's Satan. But she done it. It was a foolish thing to do. But that's what she done, and she paid for it. Burned her house down and the neighbors by trying to mock and make God a fool. Now, who's the fool? She's a fool. Created by God, but you don't believe in him or his word. And that's the worst thing you could ever do. Set fire to the Bible.
Hey, if you watch
and like I said, in verse 5.
Which Facebook is he watching?
It might be on his phone, yeah.
That's what they was doing. They was foolish. To even trust in the nation, of Egypt. Egypt couldn't do anything for them, and they just got them, got them further in the hole. And then
but it just came,
to go through to see the comparisons of this verse 15. This is where God is still trying to get them to still change and turn their minds right here. This is verse 15 in the same passage of 30. It says, for thus saith the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest shall you be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and you will not. See what I'm saying? He asked them right there in verse 15. He will save them, bring them back. But look what they told God. Told them no. God says to Judah, your salvation lies in returning to me and resting on me. Your strength lies in quiet trust in me rather than in frenzied flight to Egypt. But Judah said, no, we will fly against the enemy, to which God answers, you will fly all right. God said, yeah, you will fly. But the retreat, you will fly in retreat and panic, and that's what they done. They ran. He put them up against everything they went up against, turned on them. What they thought was for them, turned on them because, like they said, they wouldn't rest in God. And then he says, you will be chased by undermanned forces until you are like a scrawny single coal on a hill. And like he says, trusting God's promise means returning. If there is conspicuous disobedience in our lives, we must return to the Lord's ways. Outright disobedience is never consistent with the real trust in God's promises. And that's the way God is. That's the way he works. Either we're going to obey him or we're going to disobey him. And it's either yea or nay with God. Either we're going to trust him, and that's all he was going to hear. He was putting all this on him. Like in verse 15 says, they told him no. But like I said, he still loved them. He just a little bit more on. And this is the thing about God right here. We go from verse 15 to verse 18, and we can see the difference. Verse 18 says, and therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you, for the Lord is a God of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. This is what God wants. Be patient. That's the thing I had to learn when I first tried to get my life corrected. Pastor, that's the first thing Pastor stayed on about patience and just obedient wait. I couldn't understand it, but as time went on, weeks and weeks, months and months, anything that man said, it hit my life and it described just right. But you have to exercise whatever he tells you. And that's what I mean. Brother Rick and Brother Raymond, he loves y'all so much. And he wants the best for you. And like I said, whatever he wants, think about it. And it's a blessing to see y'all this morning. Just stay with God, do the best you can for him. That's all Pastor wants out of that. And that's what'll make his retirement happen, is to see all of us flourishing and still loving and obeying God's will. That's what we owe for 32 years, and we look back and ask how we doing, and not even have to ask. He can see. That's one thing I noticed about Pastor for years. Anything that was going on with me or whatever, Pastor would know. He's a lot like God sometimes. That's that wisdom. He'd know without even saying anything to him. It's just how he was. Sister Big, same way. Like I said, my cousin come here, had his son since February, just down from where she had cancer in her back. And for me to just walk down that aisle that day, and Brother Gerald preached, Sister Bigby grabbed me by the arm and she just asked me, as I was on my way up here, do you think your cousin would like to sing? And you see what they needed. All of them needed it that day. My cousin, Amen. Reverend Gerald, that's what he had went through, the 3 times he had wanted to preach, at this church. Pastor and Sister Bigby knows what we need. They know, they just do. That's the kind of wisdom that it is that it gets you. So any kind of advice, like I said, that they're giving all of us, different situations and everything, take up on it and just do it. And you will see God work every time, because like I said, wisdom's in the Bible. A lot of times, it matters. And like I said, that's all Pastor ever try to do, just give us all love and just wisdom. Whatever it's things he told me. They didn't strike, beginning, but like I said, what am I going to do? Either yield to it or just keep doing things my way and keep following. So I took up on it. And like I said, my life's been blessed ever since. And when it is a struggle, open this Bible up. You can't get old. When I couldn't get old, the pastor, a lot of times I chose to struggle. Because maybe that's the way God set things up. But in the end of the struggle, I could see myself getting stronger, a little wiser, and a little better every time. And that's why a lot of times I never even pick my phone up about anything. Because that's what a lot of ministry will do. We'll see things that get us confused sometimes, burden us down. But like I said, in the end, you keep that Bible open, go to what God gives you. God gives all of us a spirit to do things. And when we do those things, it's coming from God. Just take it up and do it. And everything will be okay. Like I said, this is dark days for us right now because of the love we have for Pastor. But God makes up for everything. Amen. Pastor lives for God. So that's what we got. He's gone now. I realize that. Been realizing it. But like I said, in the reality of it, it's just physically seeing him and Sister B. It's going to take a while. I know. Like I said, I heard every day. This week, all this week has been out. Because like I said, it's the love and the spirit that they kept here, just physically seeing those two people. It's going to take a while. But everything will still be okay if we do this will right here, this battle. Do what's in it and obey God, show love, like him and Sister Bigby do. That's what they want from all of us. And like I said, they'll be checking. Because like I said, they know things that, like I said, we don't have to tell them. We don't have to tell them. They can know what's going on in our lives. And that's the beauty of Pastor, man, boy. He's something else. But as long as we do that in life, we'll be okay. He'll be okay. And like I said, this is the beauty of verse 18. Still the Lord will wait to be gracious. God waits until the disaster of our choice has taught us the foolishness of that choice. When Judah returns to the Lord, he will be their teacher, guide, giver, rain, fertility, and prosperity, healer, rock, defender. His people will throw away their idols like the polluted things they are. Choosing our ways over God's ways will only lead us to ruins. And it will. That's what he done in this passage. Doing things our way. That's what ruined my life. That's why I come in here crawling, broke down like I was, doing everything my way, which was wrong. Self-righteousness is the worst thing. That's something I learned in life. Self-righteousness, boy. I ain't trying to be smart. I ain't trying to, not anything, but I'm just being real. Self-righteousness, that's the worst thing that an individual can really have. Because like I said, self-righteousness, boy, you never wrong about nothing. You're in a hole, but you're not wrong. You know why you're in a hole, but you're going to be right. It don't work that way. Self-righteousness, it is. And it took me a while to see it. But when you think you're right about everything, and God's not in your life and included, how is it self-righteous? And that's what it is, self. And self is what leads you to destruction every time. Self. Like I said, God blessed me with a beautiful life. Early, a good job, healthy, working with me back here, Sister Tammy, we used to work together. And she'll tell you, she talked to me all the time. And I appreciate her till today. Because like I said, when I worked with her, I was letting fire. And we talked. And she helped me on the job, still trying to help me. But see, the way I could tell and saw help from her is because she was in church and I wasn't. She was out here. And I could tell the way she talked to me on the job, giving me advice that I didn't take. See what I'm saying? Because what? Self-righteousness. Everything we talk about, I was offended and deep inside knowing I was wrong. And then after time and time, boom. See what I'm saying? It's the truth. But you did. And I thank Tammy that to today. I thank your mom. I love y'all. That's what I'm talking about. This is a church member. I wasn't, but she tried to help me.
That's right.
Because she did. She saw the structure. She saw the way I was acting and everything. But like I said, I fired up, young, 20-something. Her age, I'm even talking strong. But look what happened to me. It led me to destruction. But if I took her advice, I got in church. Hey, everything had been okay at home. But see, that's what I'm saying. You have a godly person talking to a wicked person in the world. Self-righteousness will kill you every time. And that's what happened right there. Brother Baker, he worked out there with us. Me and him were talking. Same thing. What would I do? Self-righteousness. Like it all right every time. And then in the end, it broke me down. Because if it didn't, I wouldn't have come in here to pastor. Like I was. Torn down, no job. See what I'm saying? I had to hit rock bottom to finally see that I was nothing. Just like the Bible said, all of us are nothing. Without him, we're nothing.
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right.
We're nothing but dust and a vapor. We're nothing. And like I said, when we die, that's why I don't understand why these people going out right now. You look at the Kardashians, they're going out getting all this stuff done to their bodies. When we die, the body's going to the grave. God don't want nothing but our soul. And like I said, if we live a life for him, if we live a life for ourselves, like I was talking about with Sister Tammy, when she was trying to help me in my life, wasn't in church, or anything that she was, that's the difference. And I see it. And see, that's when I should have got out here then. You see what I'm saying? I might have still been at LPI today. Anything. But like I said, I'm not knocking my life today because it took that. I have a better life now. I make more money now, but it's not about the money. It was about the situation and being hard-headed in my life. That's what I looked at. God knocked me down, but he brought me back up against me. But you know what I had to do? I had to get in here, admit, got right there in that chair, admit everything that I've done, got in pastor study, got with pastor. That's the only thing we're going to get right in life. You got to get true with God first. Admit your mistakes. And in the end, God will bless and bring your life up. Because I was in ruins. And Sister Tammy saw it, getting on her nerves every night at work, trying to help somebody that wasn't even trying to help themselves. But in the end, it took me getting knocked down in the end. And getting out here and getting stabilized in good church and getting around good people and staying that way. And that's what will establish your life. And you'll be on your way. But it's like I said, it's a daily struggle. And God knows that. That's why we have this battle right here. And that's why he never sleeps and he never slumbers. Because he knows that we need him and he knows we got there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I thank God to the highest today that he kept me. He never left me. And through all my mistakes, he let me see that. He led me out here. And I was glad. I thank my wife for being a member here. Got to go and got to see him. Good people. Got around the deacons. Brother Cleveland, Brother Barnett, Brother Frank, Brother Charles. Got around good men for you. Training. Me and Jermaine. Got help. Got in the church. I looked up and I couldn't stop. God hit me and I just still want to keep doing things with God because I see what he could have done in my life. Like I said, I was a mess. And I know I was. But I take the day, I don't take none for granted even though I live my day. I'm content with whatever. Because God lets me know that. Whatever I'm lacking, he'll make up for it. I've lost a lot of friends on this journey right here. It should have added to friends. But see, that's the way life is. You're trying to do the good things in life. Your entourage, they'll get away from you. And see, but that's what hit me in the hole that I was. Running with an entourage. I had 40, 50 guys. They love me then. But see, I'm trying to walk with God. And I get up and look around every day. Don't see none of them. It's one or two that calls me today. A guy Used to work with Robert and Barry Cole. They'll call me still to the day. But out of 35 before, where are you? See, I'm nothing. But I'm living the best life that I ever had in life. And I look up every day. Some of them still having heart trouble, heart surgeries, still just stumbling. Police is on them every week. You know, marriages is failing. All of them. It's a problem with all my so-called friends, and they wonder why. But I know why, because I was there. You got to get God in your life and keep Him in your life and do things for Him. Do the will for Him. Like I said, I might not be Joel Osteen, but I'm doing what I told God that I would do if He would spare my life for Burton Medical Center when I had stage 2 colon cancer. And I'm doing that till today. And it's being a message. I'm trying to just spread His word. I'm not trying to run or be nothing. Because like I said, if I leave God again, like Sister Tammy was trying to tell me, that's the same way I'll be back. Let me leave Him again. The second time I might not be even able to tell Him. And I know that. I understand that. Because like I said, God's been too good to me. And to go back now, 53 years old, trying to go back and try life again, I don't think that I even have the strength to get back out of it. Because like I said, I'll be a fool. And who wants to just keep being a fool in life? So just keep God in your life. Pastor Biggie, like I said, he's laid the foundation here. Let's keep it by doing and showing love like He's taught us. And I know we have it. And like I said, there's not a person here that ain't encouraged me. All the way. I mean, even down to Sunday school, the students. Sister Layla, thank you. This is why I got deep in the Bible. I had students in Sunday school. They know Jesus. That's right. And you better know the sin of DJ, your son. They knew that Bible. They know it. And like I said, that was a blessing. Little kids, a little child will show you something. They knew that Bible. It made me have to dig deeper. And fall in love with people. You know, being a deacon, that got me falling in love with the word. God just kept setting me up in situations. That's the same way with us. You feel your way, getting away with God, pray to Him, fall on your knees. God help you. And just open up the Bible. Find Him, He'll take you to the He does me like that every time I have to stand and speak. That's why it's nothing to me. If pastors or preachers preach the word, and we get rejected of the word, we still free. Because like I said, that's what we're called to do. But to sit up and put something else in this Bible, other than that, that's when we'll get it. Or to tell you that you're all right, when knowing that you ain't. Like I thought I was going to get with Sister Tammy. But when she tell me you wrong, then I'm wrong. Because like I said, you didn't go wrong with my medicine. And that's the only way I got out of it. That's the only way I got out of it. Pastor didn't go along with me. He let me know I was wrong, and you know how He done it? He let me know I was wrong through this passage in the Bible. And the only thing I could do was hang my head high, low, and just try to do better. And that's all I'm trying to do today. And this is do the will of God. So, this afternoon, Brother Stewart, before I close, I'm going to tell you this, like I told you yesterday. You know, that was the worst thing I ever done. I messed up on my first sermon, worrying about a dollar. On my first sermon, God, the devil's tricky like that. Dog got loose before I could come out here. Worried about him and the situation could have been about the dog. I put a dog before God and didn't realize my very first sermon, like you're going to do today, like I told you yesterday. You know, as the day progresses before 3 o'clock, kind of watch it. The devil will throw something, he'll try to throw an obstacle at you to get your mind off what you need to do. They done me like that. Mine was at 5. I was wrong. Because like I said, I put a dog before God. But look the mercy that He gave me. I still got out here and got the message. But a couple of weeks later, a month later, I stumbled up on it over and over again in my Bible. And it let me see. That was my first mistake. That's how precious God is. You can think you're doing something good in the world by putting that first before God, but you fell in God. And now I know, make Him first, and everything will be okay. But that's all I was trying to tell you yesterday. I didn't know that. This is, first sermon. That's the way it's going to be. You have to see things on the fly sometimes. All of us. to see where God is standing in your life. Put a dog before God, but he still gave me mercy. So that's all I'm saying. I wish you luck today, and I pray for you, and I know you'll be good. Because like I said, when I come out here, you dealt with a little young man. You stuck with me. And God will take care of you just for that. So I thank each and every one of you for coming out this morning, and may God have a blessing on each and every one of you, and I love you. Thank you. And then we open the doors to the church, however, little girls just come through and sing for the song. And before we close out, this morning, I left this out too. I was looking up Leviticus, and I matched this too, the curse that was going on in this right here. Leviticus 26 and 17. It's the curse without God. I will set my face against you, and you shall be defeated by your enemies. Those who hate you shall reign over you, and you shall flee when no one pursues you. That's how God can do it. When we live a life without God, we'll be looking around and thinking somebody's out there. He'll drive you crazy. He can do it. King Nebuchadnezzar, like I said, he crawled around on grass in wet for 7 years. Because he mocked just boldly. went against God. But look what God done to him. And every time I go see my mama, in Hopkinsville, I ride by Western State, I wonder. It made me wonder if I read it one time, how many people in Western State today that chose to mock God and put God down, and they sit right in that place today. I really like to know, but just what drove some of those people there. Did they put their lives before God and God drove them like he's done King Nebuchadnezzar? You never know. He'll do us like that. Go against it. And God, he will. He'll let you have it. It's things in the Bible that scare me, but it helps my life because it's the truth, because it's in it. And the promise with God, Leviticus 26:8, and 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 in flight, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. So see, with God, look at hundreds of people who come against you, but they'll all fall. Thousands will come against you, and they'll fall. You know why? Because you got God. So that's the good news, man. That's the good news. Being with God and being without Him. We curse without Him, but we bless with Him. Thousands, the whole town will go against us, but they won't win. Because we got God. God is something else. That's how He's got it set up. So, as we close today, just each and every one of us.
God bless you real good. May the Lord God bless you real good. You woke me up this morning, started me on my way. The Lord God bless you real good. May the Lord God bless you. May the Lord God bless you good. May the Lord God bless you. May the Lord God bless you good. Woke me up this morning. Woke me up this morning. Started me on my way. The Lord God bless you real good.
Dear precious Heavenly Father, Lord, I'd like to thank you once again, Lord, for just allowing us to come and assemble in your holy house, Lord, from last Sunday to this Sunday. And Lord, please put your loving arms once again, as always, around Sister Reverend Biggie. And just please bless their retirement as they so well deserve, Lord. And thank you once again for their service and the truth and the love that they installed in all of our lives. And Lord, thank you for this offering that we took up this morning. And may we thank you that we was able just to be here this morning from these dangerous lives and dangerous highways, Lord. Thank you for our safety, arrival, and for everyone's attendance on the day. And Lord, just please keep your loving arms around each and every one of us. Thank you for our youth, Lord. And Lord, thank you for their future that you have bestowed for them for being your children. And Lord, just thank you for everybody of the church. Thank you for the deacons, ushers, the choir, just the whole church at home, Lord. Please bless and be with our sick and shut-in of the church, Lord.